It is finally Friday and we have a super busy weekend ahead of us. I'm going to try something a little bit different in this video and I'm going to capture the entire weekends in one deal. We have a lot planned. Hopefully it is about to rain here shortly because we desperately need some rain. But at the same time, hopefully we don't get the whole weekend rained out. We need to pick up the materials to make our raised beds that we've been planning on, or at least one of them to make sure it's what we want. We need to switch over the power to the irrigation pump into our name. We need to dig out the on-off valves for the irrigation pump to get ready for us turning it on. If the power gets turned on, we will turn on the irrigation, which is going to be a huge thing. We need to check our wildflower field. We need to finish raking the sunflower field. We need to prune, if possible, and a whole lot more. So let's get to it. First stop of the weekend, out looking at the wildflower patch, and I don't think anything's sprouted yet. It's been 6 days so far, which I guess I'm not too surprised that nothing is sprouted, but keep an eye on it. I really hope we get some rain tomorrow or tonight, because if we don't, I'm probably going to water this by hand. It would only be fitting to give an update on how the vinegar sprayed rows are doing in the field. Tomorrow will be day 14 for all but 2 of the rows, and I'm still very satisfied for 2 weeks worth of time and how everything's looking. Thank you to everyone that watched that video and gave some awesome feedback. It was cool to see the support there and how many people actually have done this before and realize how effective it is. I cannot express how much I absolutely love springtime. It's amazing to come out here, and every day it looks just a little bit different. But then at the same time, it brings back a lot of fear from when my parents were doing this full time. And the reason the fear comes from this time of year is the frost. If you're not a fruit farmer, or you don't know a fruit farmer, you have no idea the amount of stress that is felt watching your potential bumper crop just get smoked in one night. Really over like a half an hour to an hour time period, depending on how cold it got. It's pretty cool to see the progress on the blueberries. We're getting close to pink bud, the stage of the development of the buds on the blueberries here. These bushes behind me, my dad completely trimmed down to nothing about 3 years ago. My favorite variety, they're called Jerseys. And yeah, they're coming along pretty well. It's really unfortunate. One of the downfalls of this variety, Jersey, is that they don't hold up very well being mechanically harvested. Like, they hold up, but they don't store well in a clamshell like you would see at your grocery store. So we weren't making as much money off of it. The other big downfall of it is they're very susceptible to a pest called a gall wasp. And they look like this. And what happens is if you were harvest and your processing equipment doesn't catch these, I guess to the customer, and when they figure out what it is, that it's bug in there, people get pretty pissed. So almost every farmer around us has ripped these out already, and if they haven't ripped them out yet, they're going to. So I'm going to keep some. Like I said, I love this variety. I want to share it with the world. I promise if I were to put the 10 varieties we had in front of you, there's a 95% chance that you would pick this variety, Jersey, as your favorite. Oh, huge news there. We have power to the irrigation pump. So get this all dug. We'll get I'm so excited I can't even talk. Now this thing is very touchy. There's a lot that goes into it. We have to prime it. Certain pressure it needs to operate at, and it's been years since I've done it and I can't remember. So my dad offered to help me get this going tomorrow. And we already got all the risers or sprinklers set up on one of our last adventures on a weekend. We should be good to go. Now, as far as the rain, radar says it's coming. I don't really feel like loading and unloading all of the raised bed materials from the big box store while it's pouring rain. So I think what we're going to do is head home for the night, call it a night, and then be back early tomorrow morning. It rained last night, so much so that there's standing water on the ground. Also, had an amazing early start to the morning and was able to get most of everything I need for the raised beds from the big box store. My gut told me to go to Home Depot, but for some reason I went to Lowe's, and Lowe's was missing one part, which Home Depot had, so I should have listened to the gut. What I'm going to do right now, while the morning is here, is start digging out the on-off valves for the irrigation and try to figure out which field they left on last. So it's humid, it's 70 already. I'm going to throw on some shorts and some boots, and I'll explain the on-off valve situation a little bit more. And it's the windy 500 again today. It's like 30, 35 mile per hour winds. So when I talk about on-off valves, they look like this. And it's a couple feet down under the ground. and there's a protective tube around it. But as time has gone on, these get covered with leaves, sticks, whatever, and I don't know where some of them are. And I gotta find all of them. But the main reason I'm digging them out is my parents cannot remember which field or setting, as they refer to it, were on last when they stopped operations. I'm hoping that the field that we are keeping is the field they had on last, so I only have to dig out this field. Otherwise, it's going to take me nearly all day due to how many different valves there are. I cannot believe how much dirt was inside that little tube. Look at the roots in there. Look at all that dirt. Holy crap. It's very good feeling dirt though. Look how deep that hole is. Woo! But we found the shutoff valve. Thank goodness. The crappy part is that valve is shut off. If the next one I do in this field is also shut off, I'm probably gonna have to dig out another entire field worth of shut-off valves. And this is what was gonna be a 30-minute job is probably gonna turn into an all-day thing. But I'm gonna stay positive. Hopefully I get lucky. There is a broken tree right above me that I'm not enjoying with how windy it is. This is not on. So instead of going and randomly trying to find all the other holes in the other field that I have no idea where they're at, I'm gonna do the last one in this field and wait for my dad. With him finding out that this field was shut, he probably will know exactly what field he had open last. And seeing he remembers where all the holes are, I'll wait for him to get home. I think I got it. Close enough. This is why it takes forever to get anything done. I'm gonna make this thing efficient again. Mother Nature is at work. I'm getting ready to start cutting the wood for the raised beds, and there are trees falling in the woods all around me. I'm gonna stay away from the dead stuff for a little while, but I almost guarantee, I've been watching this tree in front of me, that that thing is going to fall today if the wind is just out of the right direction. So I finished cutting all the wood for the raised bed, and now I'm going to drill the pocket holes, or the holes for the pocket screws. It's recessed. Never heard of it before, but it hides the screws. This jig is pretty neat. Let's see how it goes. Seems pretty straightforward. Yeah, I'm gonna start running again. Worked so hard to get rid of that, and it's back in like a week. The wind, it's just a pain in the butt to try to film with how windy it is. But check it out. Within an hour. Yeah. Got the frame done. I just need the corrugated steel or metal for the roofing, corrugated metal roofing pieces to put on the inside, and we have one of our raised beds done. So I got the stain, but I didn't get it tinted. And for a second I was going to be a dum-dum and put it on there without the color, but I need to go get it mixed. And do not want to drive all the way back to Lowe's. Made it back from Lowe's. That was actually pretty quick. Stopped, got a water, something to drink. Now, I'm gonna try staining this. I don't know if this is gonna be enough. The color is called Federal Blue. I have no idea how that's gonna look in the field, but let's give it a shot. This is very, very blue. Very blue. Very stinky. Yeah, I got roughly half a container of the stain left. I believe this is going to take a second coat a lot better. It'll be a decent looking blue. Maybe it will work once you put the nice shiny reflective steel walls on it, and all is not lost yet. Let's see. Time will tell. I want to pace this field out one more time. And the reason I'm doing that is there are 16 rows of my favorite variety of blueberries called Elliott's in this field. But the blueberry rows are not the exact center of this block of land. It's roughly 7 acres if I had to guess. I want to find what the exact middle of this block of field or block of land is, and then keep 3 rows of those jerseys. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prune those jerseys down to nothing. I'm gonna cut everything out, and I'm gonna let it start fresh, and it's probably gonna take 3 to 5 years before we have fruit on it again, but it's like hitting reset and it'll be a brand new blueberry bush. And earlier in the video, or yesterday, depending on how you want to look at it, I actually showed some of the bushes that my dad had done this to about 3 years ago. And they're like brand new bushes. So yeah, let's get this paced out. So this is the row that I keep coming up with. Well, actually, this row or this row. I'm gonna go with this one for some reason. But I'm gonna see how long it takes me to completely cut every branch, but maybe one on this bush. And then that should give me a good idea of how long it's gonna take to do each row, because I believe there are roughly 75 to 100 bushes per row. Big thing, because I'm doing a speed run, don't cut my finger off. There, time. The second coat is going well, except for the fact that as soon as I turn the camera on, I feel sprinkles again. Is it kind of cliche that it's blue and we're putting it in an old blueberry field, or is it poetic? Cliche or poetic, I'm not sure. Woo, what an afternoon. We're making progress. I got little man dropped off. He's hanging out, and I don't know if you can see him way down there. My padre is back from work and ready to assist and help me find out where the holes are. He thinks this field or block of Elliott's is the last thing that he sprinkled, so we're about to find out. My mom did not think it's this field, so I'm curious to see who is right. It's open. It's open.
All right.
So how many would you have? Would you have just the Elliott's, or would you just the Elliott's?
Just the Elliott's.
There's another row right there, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't have sprinkled that because it was down.
Because it was down?
I could only run 3 rows in here.
No shit. Oh crap. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get these shut. And the wind took down our no trespassing sign again, which I really wish we didn't have to use. But we'll get it put up. Here, might as well, seeing we're over here digging out the holes. And here we go. There we go. Then we'll come back. Let's snip these zip ties that Grandma and Grandpa put down. That looks like crap. I don't like that we have to do this anyway. I hate that we have to have a chain up. Thank you, rude neighbor that doesn't respect boundaries and makes us have to put that up. I can feel it. We're getting closer. We found the field. We got all the valves shut in the field that was left open the last time they irrigated. My dad is taking the pump out of winter mode I'm gonna go shut 2 lines in the blue crop field that we have that I dug out earlier to allow pressure to build up more easily. And man, I'm gonna be optimistic. We are within an hour of having the irrigation pump on for the first time in years. I'm pumped because this is a huge, it's a huge moment for my family and I. So, let's do it.
Oh my gosh, is that easier?
I thought it started yesterday.
Nah, it sounded like that, but it sounded seized up. Everything was going so well, almost too well, and the pump primed after probably about 200 pumps. And then when I went to turn on the motor, I turned on the motor, and it was just, it sounded like it was locked up or seized or like single phasing. Something's not right with the electric motor for the pump. Tried it a few more times, tried giving it a good old whack. It's not free enough. What I'm gonna have to do is get a meter. I used to do this for a living. I don't have any of the tools anymore, but get a meter. Make sure all the fuses are good up in this box. Make sure we're getting power like we should be, which I am assuming we are. And then after that, I'll probably have to have somebody come out and take a look at the pump. The motor itself is from 2008, so it is 16 years old. And if it's bad, I can't even imagine how much it costs or how the heck we're going to get it out of here or whatever. So, not a complete waste of a weekend, but man, it's kind of disheartening. But I guess one reminder is we are not relying on this to feed our family or pay our bills. So, there's the positive. Not sure if we're going to do anything else here tonight, but yeah, that's where we're at with the pump. No go for right now. Even though the pump wouldn't start, the positive out of it is that. Look at him. He's having so much fun. He's living life. He's loving it. And he's learning lessons from it. So that makes it all worthwhile. That's why I'm doing it.